Where is it in here?
You know, if you told me the show was going to end with you reading the back of an antifreeze container, I would say, I hope not, because that sounds fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to STS, specifically STS-1. This is the first episode ever of STS, and I am so thrilled to be bringing on my first guest on STS. Wow, it's just a whole bunch of puns and rhymes and things happening here. But never let anybody tell you nepotism doesn't get you far, because this is Blake Calvert, who is my best friend of 30 years. And you're basically like one of the people that is like my partner in crime for most of the stuff that ends up happening between us.
And also, going back to what you said about us being friends for over 30 years, slight exaggeration, but not by much, because apparently, and we only just found this out like about a year and a half ago, that our parents were at the same mommy and me class when we were little.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah. Thinking about that, didn't realize that we went that far back. Yeah, that's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, next to people who are related to me by blood, I've known you longer than anybody else.
So maybe there is some blood between.
I mean, you are adopted.
That's true. Who knows? So, not a joke, by the way. So those of you laughing, who just laughed right now, you're awful.
Yeah,
so,
my grandpa was adopted too, so.
It happens to the best of us, I guess.
And to you.
So, yeah. Thanks. What was really interesting, STS is kind of just show up and talk about whatever you want to talk about, and that is precisely what we're doing. And we don't have anything set to talk about at all. We're just going to, whatever pops up is going to pop up.
Although on Twitter, I did post like a little poll last night.
Yes, you did.
Just threw out a few options about stuff that we should talk about. Like, I threw on like our days at comedy, because back in high school and college, we did a comedy bit for a while.
And professionally too.
Yeah,
it wasn't like we were just like doing it at your local, community theater. Like we were actually up in Hollywood doing comedy improv when we were in high school. So like.
So we figured we got a few stories. So anyway, the point is we got a few stories. Figured, man, some good stuff to mine out of that. Yeah. And I also put in current events because
obviously, I mean, if it's stuff that's happening right now, it is.
Favorite movie, and also favorite movies, because some things that people do enjoy talking about.
Absolutely.
And of course, recent bowel movements.
Bowel movements. That's fantastic.
Very important in life. In fact, so important that some people get transplants to get more up in there.
That's true. That's very, very true. I also just want to point out, in the poll that you did, our comedy days and recent bowel movements got the same number of votes, which to me makes sense.
I mean, comedy's subjective.
Yeah, it is subjective. So, just like with this. So.
Anyway, the winner of the poll turned out to be current events. And basically, current events, to paraphrase Bill Nye, the world is literally and figuratively on fire.
Yeah, and we figured that there's a lot of current events that actually probably can't really joke about that a lot.
Or at least have like a fun conversation about
it. So like 15 minutes before we started shooting this, Iran fired missiles. So good times. Hopefully this episode will actually make it to air. If not, it's been nice knowing you humans.
Whoever finds this buried under the rubble that was once California.
The tardigrade archaeologists will be looking at this millions of years in the future. This is the only record they have. And the only bit of this that's going to get through is the bit about bowel movements. So they're going to know. So they're going to know so much shit about our shit, but nothing else.
Clearly, what's most important in human civilization.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pipe it out. You got to get rid. Exactly. So.
Anyway, but there is actually one thing that happened in the news. Like it was either yesterday or early this morning that I think we can have some fun to talk about. Is Christian Bale is in talks with Marvel about doing a role for them.
Nice. Is there any specification as to what role it is?
Not that I'm aware of, but like a lot of people are speculating that it might be for the upcoming Thor movie.
Okay.
Or some people throwing out that he might be playing Doctor Doom, which
Ooh.
I am 110% on board for.
Holy smokes, that would be sick.
I mean, if we're gonna have a good Doctor Doom,
yeah,
might as well get a Batman in there.
Yeah, you might as well get like a tremendously good. Is he a method actor? I can't remember if he's method or not.
I think he is. I'm not sure if it's like called method, but he's that kind of actor who like either gains a massive amount or loses a near fatal amount of weight, depending on whatever role he takes.
He definitely takes his roles very seriously.
I mean, when he played Chaney, it was just frightening how close it looks.
Yeah, and I got to say too, he was amazing in Ford versus Ferrari as well. So I quite like that. Being someone who loves racing and the history of racing, he was fantastic and fantastic actor all around.
It's gonna be fun to see if this makes it on the YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
For your folks at Patreon, how on the other hand,
yeah, you might see that or whatever I end up using. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that. That's the hard part with that. But one thing we definitely should talk about is Rise of the Skywalker.
Yes.
Or Rise of Skywalker. Rise of the Skywalker.
I mean, okay.
Man.
As of this recording,
I'm really tired.
As of this recording, it's still in theaters. It's been out for a few weeks.
Yeah, so this is a we are just giving you time for spoilers if you have.
But at the same time, at this point, it's been out long enough that even if
I think it's fair to talk about it.
Yeah, even if you haven't seen it, you've probably been exposed to enough spoilers that it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, who cares at this point? So,
and the point is, this movie's kind of a mess, but I still kind of love it.
So you were like relatively okay with the stuff that went down in it.
Okay, there are two things that happened in it that kind of made me go, "Fuck you, movie."
Mm-hmm. What were they?
All right. First off, it was the reveal, not exactly of Palpatine being alive. It was kind of stupid, but it's like the kind of stupid where it's like, okay, let's see where you go with this. Mm-hmm. But it was that Rey was Palpatine's granddaughter. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because mainly I feel like it's sort of in a way kind of shat on the themes of the Last Jedi, which again, I love. R.I.P. comment section. Yep.
So long to the comments. So there go my subscribers, Blake. Thanks a lot. So.
Well, anyway, yeah. don't act like you didn't love Last Jedi.
I love The Last Jedi because it did everything that I wanted a Star Wars movie to do. You know, like I didn't want it's really hard for me to describe it, but basically, it took all of the overbearing thematics and just threw it out the window and was like, let's just start from scratch. Let's see what we can do with this. You know, The Force Awakens was awesome, but also at the same time, it really was A New Hope. I still liked it.
No, don't get me wrong. It's like, I kind of feel like Force Awakens, at least in concept, was a way of saying, like, sort of way of Disney to prove, okay, see? We can make a traditional Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. Now we're probably going to do some things a little bit different from here out.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think they were going for concept initially.
Yeah. And it kind of sucks because Rise of the Skywalker just compromises so much of what made The Last Jedi so much fun and what would have been such an amazing contribution to the series. Asuki has a very strong opinion about this as well, as she's barking at the door.
All right, but anyway, like I was saying before about Rey being a Palpatine.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I feel like it sort of shat on the themes of like greatness can come from anywhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be from a bloodline.
Yes. Why?
But
why do you have to be special in order to change the world? You don't. You can be nobody and change the world.
However, I do think that theme still sort of existed. How in the last frame of Last Jedi, where you see that stable boy on Canto Bight sort of force pull a broom into his hand.
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't necessarily completely ruin it.
So there's the next trilogy.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. And then the second thing, which I have a way harder time of justifying in my head, the fucking Raylo kiss.
Yeah, the kiss. I was... man.
Look, again, I'm not necessarily against Kylo being redeemed because, if you think about it, Vader's probably done way worse, but more people aren't bored with him being like, oh, okay, he's okay. He helped kill the Emperor. He's good now.
Yeah.
Even though Vader murdered an entire monastery filled with children.
Yeah, we'll just overlook that real quick.
Yeah.
So, again, for all of you Darth Vader stands, just to remind you, he's done a lot of great work, but at the same time,
He murdered
a bunch of children in a monastery. So, yeah, I was was really hoping that Suki's barking and it's just throwing me off. It's so great. I was really hoping...
You got dogs on location.
I do. We do have dogs on location. Should I just go grab the dogs and let them in, or what should I do?
Call, man.
So, okay, let's go. You just stay right there and I'll get the dogs so that they can come in. Suki, what you doing?
Anyway, so what I was getting at is that, yeah, Ben being redeemed isn't necessarily out of the park considering what else happened in Star Wars. But the kiss feels like, oh, we got an old blind dog.
Yeah, we got an old blind dog here. This is a Suki, so I'm just gonna put her up right here.
She's old and blind but adorable.
Yeah, she is totally adorable. So,
she's like Donnie Yen's character in Rogue One.
That's right. You're one with the Force, and the Force is one with you.
But anyway, the Raylo kiss sort of encapsulates a trope I absolutely cannot stand in fiction.
What is it?
The I can fix him trope.
Can you believe that?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad he is. It doesn't matter that literally the first time I met him, I was strapped to a torture table and he was trying to extract things from my brain. It doesn't matter that he helped build a planet weapon that blew up a solar system.
Yeah, who cares?
I can make him good.
Yeah, I'm so that trope, tired of that. I'm also really tired of redemption.
Also, that sort of shat on Last Jedi again because at the end, Ben didn't want to be saved.
No, he didn't. So
he had the opportunity, but he shows, no, I killed Snoke. I'm Supreme Leader now. Fuck everybody.
Yep, basically. And I'm just tired of redemption for baddies. Why can't a baddie just be a baddie? Why can't a bad guy just be bad? Like, why? Why do you have to make a bad person redeem themselves? Why can't they make the choices in fiction, at least, that, like, basically doubling down on their awfulness? Right. I don't... It's annoying, and it's the safe route to take. And I don't like the fact that the safe route is being taken.
Although, there was actually one scene that, for a second, felt like they were doing that. That was, like, about halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
It felt like they were doing that, but they just did a complete 180 that I kind of loved.
Which one?
It was when it was revealed that General Hux was a spy for the Resistance.
Yes. Was he really a spy, though?
Yeah, because he literally said his motivation was, I don't care if you win, I just want Ren to lose.
Yeah, but he just wants Kylo Ren's power. That's essentially what it was.
Yeah, but again, it's sort of like they set up. I was like, really? You're making the guy who was in charge of Starkiller Base. You're making him a reluctant hero now. But it's like, I don't care if you win. I just want Ben to lose. And it's like, there it is. There's the petty bitch I know.
Yeah. I gotta say, that was amusing, to say the least. I also appreciate the fact that they just like killed him immediately outright.
Oh, really? They just took your hostages and shot you in the leg. Yeah.
Okay. Oof, yeah. So long.
Got the spy.
Yeah. That was
vodka.
That was entertaining. Bourbon. That was definitely entertaining. See, that's what I would have liked. I would have liked more of that. That kind of ruthlessness, because that's what the Empire and the First Order are supposed to be, ruthless.
Right. Again,
and it's not just like in the actions that they take against the galaxy and the things like that. It's like an between what they do and how they operate amongst each other. Like it's basically the worst workplace to ever go.
It's like those things in Empire whenever an officer gives Vader bad news and it's like,
yep, you're done. So that's it.
But you know what? I could have been madder about this movie, But until I realized two very simple truths about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
One, other than Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, and this end, and Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones at this end, every Star Wars movie is like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like some variation of average.
It's a typical, it's space opera.
Right.
So. And
also, these movies are primarily made for children.
Yeah. See, that's always my biggest argument about when people get very serious about Star Wars and things like that, is that these are kids' movies.
Now, that's not to say kids' movies can't do groundbreaking great things.
They can.
Or that if you're adult and love kids' movies, there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're allowed to like what you like and still be an adult.
Absolutely.
But you gotta sort of take a step back and just be like, really? Am I gonna overanalyze Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah. Well, I would hope you wouldn't.
Right.
So that would be the wrong thing to analyze.
Right.
So if you're gonna analyze something,
or take a step back, it's like, am I really gonna overanalyze G.I. Joe?
Now, when he screamed pork chop sandwiches, what he really meant was that.
Now, when he was talking about how he's a computer and should stop the downloading, that's some ancient internet for you.
Yeah,
folks.
for those of you who are out there, that's some old internet. So we actually literally just dated ourselves. Yes, to some of our viewers, probably.
Well, when you start out the video of us being friends for 30 years, people are going to either think you're exaggerating or we're at least 31.
That's true. So, I guess, what should we talk about now? Because we also had, like, favorite movies and our comedy days and things like that.
No, I think, let's talk about Star Wars, sort of talk about, like, favorite movies, because, again, we both love Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is just fantastic.
Right.
So, I just love it all around. Conversely, I also love Star Trek as well.
You know, I gotta be honest, I'm not that big a Trekkie.
I can understand. I like them for different reasons.
I've seen most of the movies, and I've had various levels of enjoyment, and what the fuck? Why is there a stripper cat with 3 tits?
Well,
Oh, that was directed by Shatner. That makes sense.
Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
That's indefensible. I just can't, like, I just can't defend that at all.
Nope, so. Nobody should defend Star Trek V.
Yeah, not at all.
Star Trek 3, maybe. There's some stuff there where it's worth defending.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, it's an arc. It's a to me.
It's the middle part of the trilogy of those movies.
Yes, exactly. And then 5 was like just a mess. It tried to be like the philosophical episode plus an action episode mixed together. It just didn't work. Didn't work all that well. So
basically, what we're saying is like it's like up until thing was Insurrection. I think that's the one. All the even number Star Trek movies are good. Mm-hmm. Odd ones are garbage.
I wouldn't say garbage. So Star Trek, the motion picture, the first one, it's a slow burn.
Very slow.
Very slow burn.
Like literally at some points are in slow mo.
But they weren't. Yeah. But like they weren't going for Star Wars. They were more in the vein of 2001, sort of
right.
A Space Odyssey. In that area,
I've heard that argument. Yeah.
And then 3 is just kind of a continuation or a wrap up of the story of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest point against Star Trek 3 is that it came after Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, I mean, how do you top Wrath of Khan? I mean, Ricardo Montalban was just that chest.
Plastic chest.
Let me tell you. So.
You're getting hot and bothered over plastic, Jared.
Yeah, I know. Not the first time. So, what's some other movies that you like?
Okay, there's one movie that we both share a great fondness for. Mm-hmm. That we sort of always quote back and forth at each other. Stepbrothers.
Stepbrothers, yes, absolutely. And it's not just because you look like John C. Reilly. Like, seriously, he looks like John C. Reilly. But, I mean, like, they shot more film for that than they did Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
That's an incredible statistic.
Yeah, it's just...
That makes no sense whatsoever for that to have actually happened.
But there's one line in that movie that sometimes keeps me up at night, and that's when they were doing the montage of them trying to stop Adam Scott from selling their parents' house, and they're showing the movie to this couple who walk in, and John C. Reilly has Will Ferrell wrapped up in a shower curtain. It's like, oh God, he's dead. The carbon monoxide in the house killed him. And the wife is like, oh no, I've seen too many dead bodies. What is that woman's story? How many dead bodies has he seen?
That is very much in the same vein of one of my favorite lines from Anchorman, which is actually at the end in the credits, the gag reel, when Steve Carell is Brick Tablets doing the weather, and they go, "So Brick, are you having your celebrity golf tournament?" And then he goes, "Oh no, too many people died last year." What the hell happened at this golf tournament? That, like, first of all, there was an acceptable number of people that could die, and then there was just like this number where it just went over this threshold, and they're like, "No, we can't hold this next year." Like what is that threshold of a golf tournament? Like,
no, that's like this. What is, if you were throwing a golf tournament, what is the acceptable amount of dead people? Because I'm gonna say my cutoff is 5. 3 and 4 is iffy.
Well, I mean, if you consider who typically shows up at a golf tournament, I mean, how are we defining dead? Do we mean like physically dead, or just like I'm dead inside, or I'm dead to the world? Like, how are we defining this exactly?
Oh, going back to current events, there's actually one thing I read this morning that's sort of maybe a little bit happy. And that's Chris Hemsworth donated $1 million towards relief for the Australian fires.
Yeah.
Reading that just makes me like, you know what? Thor's a good guy. That makes me happy.
Definitely.
But, of course, I read it on Facebook, and, of course, the comments were filled with people going like, yeah, it's not like you strapped for cash. And it's like, motherfucker, he just donated $1 million.
Money's money, especially in an emergency.
Right.
Like, seriously.
Are you really going to be that asshole who's going to talk shit to a guy who donated a plethora of zeros worth of money to firefighters?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't understand that kind of like attitude from people. I don't want to call it like ungratefulness. Is it jealousy? I mean, I don't know if there's sort of this jealousy of I can't make as big an impact as that. Like, I wish I could. I don't really know how to phrase it correctly.
You should ask your therapist next time. Just run that question by your therapist and say, like, what is like, if you had to guess, what's wrong with this person?
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I thought you meant like me. Talk to my therapist and.
Or just like, or hey, if anybody after watching is some form of mental health professional,
yeah,
feel free to let us know. Hey, what's wrong with this person's brain?
Yeah. Also, let us know what's an acceptable number of dead golfers at a celebrity golf tournament.
If you organize major sporting events, what's an acceptable number?
Yeah. Or in the comments below, tell us what is your acceptable number of dead golfers at a celebrity golf event.
This is. I'm so glad to be the first one to test this out on.
I just want to say, by the way, that the whole situation in Australia sucks.
Yeah.
So it's horrendous, and it's terrible to see that happening.
And again, we're from California.
Yeah.
We know how awful fires can get.
Yeah. I mean, 2018, the town of Paradise was just completely wiped out by a fire that just came right through it.
Yeah.
So,
and this is basically like a whole country is.
I've heard I think it's the size of West Virginia here in the United States, which, I mean, like, that's...
If you're from West Virginia and you're watching this, you should be going, God damn.
Yeah. Shit, that's big. So, yeah. So, I really hope that gets under control pretty quick. At least from my Australian friends, what I've seen from what they're talking about and things like that, it seems like the Prime Minister in Australia is just, like, got his thumb so far up his ass. He's like checking for a heartbeat in his throat.
I've heard some things.
I mean, like, really dumb people in charge at moments like that are just as detrimental to a situation as the actual situation itself.
Looks nervously towards Iran.
All right, that's our only Iran joke we are allowed to have, simply because like the war, we're making this right now, and war could like literally be breaking out at this moment. Like I don't know what we're doing because we haven't checked Twitter in like 30 minutes, and I don't want to check Twitter either because
put a little annotation in the video.
Yeah.
Or just cut to that clip from Futurama where Fry and Bender are joining the army just to get a discount at a convenience store. It's like, that's right, you're safe so long as war ain't declared. What's that noise? War were declared.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of like on Space News, anytime we say something about SpaceX on Space News, Elon Musk will then tweet something in the time period where we will talk about it next week, and then we post it, and then, of course, there's a whole bunch of people in the comments that are like, well, Elon said Elon's. Well, I read from Elon.
Video production takes a long time, a-holes.
So, yeah, it's it's a little tough. It's kind of a little time-consuming. We'll see how this goes, though. I've hopefully this will just be like a straight shot all the way through. Although, I'll tell you, there's only one thing here that's straight, let me tell you. So, it's you. So, yeah, that's right. So...
the guy in the rainbow kitty corn Deadpool shirt
absolutely.
is straight.
Well, I've got my Rainbow Pride band here, definitely. With that, and I've got also my my Pride flag here on my laptop, and a sparkle pug corn here, and then my Calvert sticker that says I can destroy anything. So
I mean, to be fair to your computer stickers, I think most straight dudes wouldn't mind a Pugacorn either.
I mean, Pugacorn sounds amazing. So, in case you guys don't know, there's sort of this long-running history on Tomorrow of me laughing at pugs and basically just completely falling apart at the sight of pugs. And it is a true thing. To me, pugs are hilarious.
Cut two?
And
Puppy!
oh my god!
Yeah, buddy. It's just a dog, Jared.
And I love pugs. They're just so funny. Yeah, they're funny. They're a funny dog. They're funny looking. They make funny noises, and they're cute. Yeah, go ahead, make some pug noises for us, Blake. And of course, now someone on the internet's going to grab all of that and just loop it for Jared makes pug noises for 10 hours. So
I mean, I was going to ask.
Shit, maybe I'll do it. So
I was about to ask who would do that, but I realized, oh shit, you have like 500 plus subscribers on your channel.
Yeah, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't ask for this. They probably didn't either. So,
well, for those of you who still stay subscribed after all this, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate your faith in me because I have very little in myself. Oh my god, are you remembering what I'm remembering about the fake punk band we wanted to make? Wanted to make a fake punk band called Heinous Anus. And we were going to draw like a little like butthole thing and put it on like t-shirts and stuff.
Yep.
And the whole joke was like...
To be clear, this wasn't like us doing a real band. It was like doing a Spinal Tap type deal.
Yeah, we were going to do like a Spinal Tap thing back in our comedy days. And we were going to have a little like a t-shirt with a butthole on it, and we were like, buy our merch. Anus.
And then I realized, oh shit, Community did that joke.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they made this. They had a make your own school flag thing, and the winner was one that looked like a butthole.
Oh.
And they had a motto written in Latin, E pluribus anus.
Ah, gotcha.
But yeah, anyway, so thanks for stealing our joke, Dan Harmon.
Yeah, thanks.
Fucker.
Appreciate it. Dan Harmon, man, he did Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
He does Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick
right?
and Morty.
So,
yeah.
That was something else at late 2016 with the Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, that is.
With it, that was like the great white people riots of 2016.
And I think that's
besides besides Election Day in the United States.
Right. But I think that was like the thing. But no,
There goes the bit by subscriber.
You've actually
Angry comments are inbound.
Oh, come on. If they weren't already in for us talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, by the way, if you spend more time talking about how much you hate a thing you supposedly love, you don't love the thing.
Yeah, you probably don't love it. So what are some other things that we can say that would upset our comments section?
Trump's a terrible president.
Not a fan. Not a fan whatsoever.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's kind of a dick.
Kind of? No, he is a dick.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not particularly a fan of his. Maybe as a person he's okay, but his brand of science communication I don't care for whatsoever.
Yeah, like I remember, like around like at Christmas, he sent a tweet saying it's like all my Christian friends, Merry Christmas to everybody else, Happy Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude. Like, just
first of all, fuck you. Secondly, it's still Hanukkah, dick.
Like, just go have some hot cocoa and read the New Yorker, okay?
You know. You live in New York, go enjoy the fucking snow. Actually, looking at the poll, we've more or less covered all of this, except for one thing. Recent BMs.
Yeah, we haven't talked about our recent BMs.
You know what?
So,
I could probably just backtrack. Up until about a year and a half ago.
Can I just say, I'm just going to say that we are only talking about our recent BMs because 15% of you on this voted for us to talk about it. And we've already talked about our comedy days.
We touched on it, yes.
We touched on it. So we're also going to touch on our recent BMs. But we'll wash our hands afterwards.
I wear gloves when I do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway.
So I just do it as God intended.
I think God intends us to touch our own poop. Granted, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I don't think there's anything in the book of Genesis that says, and the Lord said, touch thy own poop.
I know who we could call to figure this out. Let's call Neil deGrasse Tyson. He'll definitely know whether we're allowed to touch our own poop or not.
Anywho.
Any poo.
Anyway, so I'd say, like, until about a year and a half ago, I was unemployed, and during that time, I became an afternoon pooper. So now, I poop at work. I'm just bringing it out there. Most of my poop is at work.
How many poops are you supposed to have a day? Like, what's a good number?
I think, like, medically, you're supposed to have 1, maybe 2. Oh,
okay.
Why, do you think you poop too much?
Maybe. So sometimes 2 is my usual number. I have, like, 1 in the morning. Right as I've woken up, my body's like, out! Out with you!
I think that's because, like, 9 times out of 10, you eat, like, Taco Bell and Jack I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding.
I'm not joking.
Kidding. Yeah.
Follow this man's Twitter.
I have done a terrible... I've done awful. So, I'm doing better. So, I have not eaten... actually, I take that back. I've only had one meal from Taco Bell so far this year. That has been the only fast food I have had so far in the past 7 days.
That's a
so,
good,
but it's a tremendous improvement for myself. I'm going to toot my own horn about about the fact that I've only had Taco Bell once this year.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I could be as good because my work is like in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say specifically where I work because in case somebody recognizes me, I don't want to.
Yeah, and your opinions are your own.
Right.
And not those of your employer.
Like
my opinions are my own and not of my employer.
Exactly. Probably should put that close to the beginning of the video. But
yeah, we can do some. I'll do some movie magic and edit that in. We'll do a pause and then we can say that at the start.
All right. Anyway, my point is that, like, my work's in the middle of downtown and there's like a lot of fast food and sort of restaurants near there, and I probably eat more Panda Express than I should.
Yeah. Well, that may explain why you're an afternoon pooper, and it's just one at a time.
It's that damn walnut shrimp.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. So.
Also happening like right by my favorite burger joint too. So.
Oh, which one's that?
LA Buns, man.
LA Buns. LA Buns is good stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't had LA Buns in a while. So.
Yeah, it is. I just had it this afternoon, actually.
That's good.
Good stuff.
Very good.
And that's also when I realized I had my underwear on backwards all day.
Yeah. You're going to admit to that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I spent most of today thinking I had my underwear on backwards. It happens.
It happens to the best of us. I'm sure there were several times that Jesus had his underwear on backwards.
Oh no, Jesus was in full commando all the time.
Really?
I remember that from the Bible.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Angry comments are so fun.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, FYI, Jared's on furry Twitter right now.
Well, I'm trying to like catch up on what's happening, so.
I guess I was just saying you did a little bit of scrolling.
Yeah, well, I wanted to
noticing some art before you went.
Okay, well, it wasn't art that couldn't be in a Christian manga. Okay, that's sort of my like level of things. Like if I reach a point where it's like, oh, you can't put that in a Christian manga, then it's like maybe I should close this account or not look at this account at this particular moment with it, but. Yes, as you have pointed out, I am a furry, and I
think you actually brought up earlier when you were just...
I did. A lot of people probably glossed over that.
I also appreciate you brought it up in your intro video to this old freaking channel.
I did, and a lot of people probably glossed over that as because they don't really...
Wait, is that a euphemism?
No, it's not.
Are
first
you
of all, gross. Secondly, hot. But no, it is what it is. To me, it's like a natural extension of what people have been doing for thousands of years. So
now, when you say extension,
that is a thing, I guess. A lot of people try to shy away from the fact that there is obviously a very large sexual component to the furry fandom. And I feel like that's not something that should necessarily be swept under the rug. Because let's face it, every fandom out there has a component like that in it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Some are much more on display than others, such as, say, the furry fandom. It's significantly more on display because of the origins of the furry fandom. You find that there was a sort of a liberation for people in it. They were able to express themselves in ways that they couldn't originally. Nowadays, we have a lot more ability to express yourself.
Polar express yourself.
Yeah. So like me, I'm an out polyamorous, pansexual queer. So, which I just lost a bunch of subscribers and probably will get a lot of angry comments from that. But I mean, fuck you if you don't like it. It's your problem, not mine.
I mean,
so
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, but there were very few avenues that you could actually explore that in, say, during the '90s. With that there,
right?
And
wasn't like the creator of Astro Boy a furry, or am I thinking about somebody else?
I don't know actually. One of the people that I know in the fandom actually has done a documentary about the fandom. Like they've actually gone to the people who kickstarted the furry fandom, which a lot of people don't know. That some of the origins of it can be found here in the Los Angeles area.
I mean, yeah, because I could have sworn I've heard or read somewhere that like a super influential manga artist has like found somebody like owned old manuscripts of theirs.
I don't know.
And there's like, well, I have to be frank, mice with tits.
Okay, it is what it is, right?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's just that information's out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. Yeah, I would not be surprised if that were the case.
Let's just say Minnie wasn't Minnie everywhere.
That's true. Well, there goes my chances of ever getting a Club 33 membership.
Sorry.
Damn it. So that's
you just edit this out.
Whatever. I'll make my own Club 33.
With blackjack.
And big tittied mice.
Woohoo!
You bring out the worst in me, but in the best ways. So I both like hate you, but also like appreciate that.
It's vice versa.
True. So yeah, I am going to be going to Further Confusion this year, which is the largest furry convention in California, and it is essentially a weekend of like pure debauchery, I guess is how I would describe it. It is essentially Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but in this case, it's going to be in San Jose, and people were wearing fursuits.
And so more lizards.
More wolves and foxes than lizards.
Yeah, I was going for a joke.
Yeah, and I'm not letting you have it. And what are you going to do about it?
Just tell me about the goddamn golf shoes.
Yeah, that's true. So, it's always entertaining because, I mean, like, you know, there's a party floor at FC, which is open Friday and Saturday night. There's a bar run by people dressed as Klingons called the Black Hole, and I love it because they are rude as hell to you.
The fucking Klingons.
Exactly, and you could be rude back to them as well, and they're Klingons, so and you can do it. And they have really good drinks too. Like my favorite is Warp Core Coolant. They have one called Revenge, and they always announce it when they're pouring it because Revenge is a drink best served cold, and you're supposed to yell "best served cold" when they announce that. There's another one called Honorable Death where you have to explain to the entire room why your death was honorable, and then they will judge whether you're worthy or not for the drink. Which, by the way, you're paying for the drink, so you're worthy enough for it. So, yeah. So that's one of them. What are some other fun ones? In 2019, there was a used car themed party, and it was amazing. And you could get a special drink from this guy dressed up as a mechanic, pouring it out of pouring the drink out of something that looked exactly like this, like some antifreeze coolant.
You know, you could have just said
and it was the worst drink I have ever had in my life. It was like one of those drinks where it's like, the only reason I have this is because I know I'm going 0 to fucked up by the time I get to the bottom of it.
Joke's on you, you just drank antifreeze.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was antifreeze, because I'm sure that's what antifreeze has sort of like sugar kind of compounds in it, so I bet antifreeze actually tastes a bit better than that probably did. But I didn't care because I was already far gone by that point.
Okay,
and then
I have to ask an important question.
Sure.
Why would you put sugar in antifreeze?
I think it has to do with the ability to be essentially to prevent freezing. It's not sugar. It's not like table sugar or white sugar. I don't know what. I'm not a cook. So
cane sugar.
It's not sugar. It's God. What would I call it? Like, where is it in here?
You know, if you told me the show was going to end with you reading the back of an antifreeze container, I would say, I hope not, because that sounds fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's the ethylene glycol in here that makes it.
So the stuff in Dan Aykroyd's vodka.
Yes, exactly. I have
Burn
never
on you, Dan Aykroyd, you crazy fucker.
I have never had glycol before, but I want to say that's like a component that could make things taste sweet. That's why they say animals try to go for antifreeze, is because it tastes sweet. Okay. I don't know if that's true. It's probably apocryphal. Someone in the comments will absolutely correct me if that's what happens.
Here comes the ruination.
Yeah. But yeah. Also, God, what was the other party that I was at? Oh, the Communist Party! Oh, I love the Communist Party. They are always...
There's a lie taken out of context.
So much fun. Yeah, that one will definitely... guess I'm not running for president anymore. Not that I wanted to.
Sorry, I just thought of a head presidency.
Yeah, well, it would just basically be fully automated luxury queer space communism. So, take that as you will. So... it'd be fun for everybody.
Yeah.
It would never be boring, that's for sure.
Cis straights, you're welcome.
Yeah, you are absolutely welcome to join us.
As long as you're not a dick.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole. If you be an asshole, we kick you out the airlock. So, does that mean that there would be like straight bars in this society? I don't even want to think about that. Because every bar is a straight bar, unless it's specified. Anyways, I've just dug a hole.
So communism.
And I'm going to continue to dig this hole.
So communism.
But the Communist Party is probably my favorite party because they are just a bunch of enablers. The Communist Party is my favorite party at the convention. So, okay. So
sorry, this is just all too great.
and they always have somebody like spinning Soviet era vinyl. It's all like bad music. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it's bad music. I'm going to say it's music I'm not used to listening to. But yeah, it's really fun. They're all dressed up like guards and stuff, and there's so much vodka there. And actually, I have a shot glass from them because 2019 was the 20th year of the Communist Party at FC, which is just ridiculous to think about.
Oh, this next one's gonna be old enough to drink.
So yes, and I will be shooting a adventure bit through the entirety of FC, so you will absolutely see what that's like.
Get used to censor bars.
No, we won't have to worry about that. I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't really.
I'm not saying you're. I'm not saying you would explicitly go to it. I'm just saying it would somehow find its way to you.
You're not wrong. It is one of those things where, like, it is interesting in the fandom how innocuous it gets. Things like that get treated. It's yeah, whatever. So I remember I went with some friends to Las Vegas last year, and they were like, "Oh boy, I hope you're ready for some stuff." And I was like, "Could it be worse than a furry convention? Like, come the fuck on, you know?" What the hell? I'll tell this story.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've told me some horror stories.
If there was ever, if a biographical film was ever made about me, where I would want it to open is at Midwest Fur Fest 2017. This was my first time going to a convention off of the West Coast. Midwest Fur Fest, by the way, is the largest furry convention in the world. It's over 10,000 people at this thing. That is huge. And I went to it in 2019 as well, and that's probably the last one I'm going to do now that I'm going back to school. Or at least the last one outside of California and Nevada that I'll be doing until I'm done with school.
Unless you're willing to pay.
Yeah, unless you want to pay me to go, then I'm more than happy to do it. Biographical film on my life, if it were ever made, absolutely has to open at me in a party at a hotel room at Midwest Fur Fest 2017. Where it's just I've got my drink and I'm talking to somebody else with their drink as well, and we're talking spaceflight stuff because, as you can imagine, space is kind of popular, and we're just talking about spaceflight stuff, and the camera starts to slowly pull out, and the rest of the room starts to come in focus as it's pulling out. And you're starting to notice that, oh my God, there are people on the bed and they're having sex. So, and that's pretty much.
And they're all wearing animal heads.
Not all of them were.
Not all of them were. Keyword, not all of them
But there were people doing that. And I realized that I will now never be able to run for public office at any point. Because I have put that out there. So, fun as hell, though.
I mean...
So, I was not participating. I mean,
is that really, in the grand scheme, is that really the worst thing a president has done before being elected?
Probably not. By the way, I'm going to say the exact same thing probably happens at Comic-Con. I would say.
Well, probably not that far off.
Probably, there's definitely got to be like a Marvel room orgy or something like that. Don't go to the DC orgy. It's terrible.
Just
everybody's gloomy and just pissed, and it just doesn't work well.
More or less rubber nipples than you'd expect.
Yeah, the Star Trek orgy is like particularly.
Yeah, but that only happens once every 7 years.
Very interesting. Well, that's if you're going with the Vulcans. If you're going to do the Klingons...
See, I know enough about Trek to know that tidbit.
If you're going to do the Klingons, you've either got to get ready to throw heavy objects at somebody or read poetry. Because I think that's how Klingons do it, right? They woo their partner by reading poetry as they throw very large objects at them. Or have very large objects thrown at them.
See, when Klingons do it, it's romantic. Poetry. When I do it, there's restraining orders.
Yeah, I think we're just going to end it right at that point. So, Blake, thank you so much for coming to Shootin' the Shit today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to see how this first episode goes. And, of course, in the comments, you can tell us what you think. Don't know if we'll read them because I imagine there's just going to be a bunch of angry comments from every corner of the internet.
I mean, we did spend a good 5 to 10 minutes just baiting people to give us bad comments.
We did. We were baiting people. Yes.
You're gonna say you're gonna say something gross, weren't you?
I had words, and then I was like, that's not good. All right, so thank you all so much for watching STS-1 and bearing with us as you've come through this. We'll see kind of how this sort of talk format progresses. This is just one camera for now, and I mean, I don't even know if this camera is going to be used for the next one. It'll kind of be up to however everybody reacts to it. But of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you dare, share this to other people.
Also, if you're interested in like being part of the next Twitter poll we do, be sure to follow our various accounts. I'm under @BlakeCalvert1,
and I'm under @JaredHead, and of course we'll put that up again, but we'll also have it at the beginning for sure. Yeah. And that's it for this STS. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you at the table next time.